All right, welcome back. It's bright and early, and today's one of those kind of off the beaten path videos. So we don't have a giant project, but we've got lots of quirky little individual projects, and I don't know what we're gonna do today. So we've got a lot of things on our list. Sometimes those are the best videos because we get to see, you never know what's gonna happen. So the thing I'm interested in today is creating kind of a secure area in the building. So for a lot of you, you know that we've had a ton of break-ins, which is getting better. Mostly we've got it down to just rocks thrown at the building, and we've got this room here, which we recently have been cleaning out, and this is the room where the fork truck was buried in trash. And we've got this giant fire door, and what I want to do is create some kind of mechanism where I can shut this and secure it, because right now it's got these catches here, but with a slight push, because it's counterweighted, you can just open that up. So I'd like to find a way to secure that so that on the other side of this wall we've got basically one area in the building that is pretty secure. So because the rest of the building is so open, once somebody would come in, we've got security cameras, we've got a couple other measures in place to deal with that if they come in. So that's the first project for today. Now I found this guy here on the third floor, and we've got some steel plates here, some really thick steel plates. So I'm thinking what I want to do is cut off these threads so that seats just like that, and weld that onto that steel plate. That'll give me at least one point of contact. It could be there or it could be here. I haven't decided yet. And I was thinking with something like this on one side and then another one on the other door, I could get like a U-shaped, like a staple-shaped piece of rebar or something, and just drop it in the two holes, one on the door frame and one on the door. And that would prevent, if it was on the inside, that would prevent anybody from opening that door for sure. So that's kind of the thinking right now. We'll see what happens. There's probably 1,000 different ways I could do it, but wow, it's pretty dark in here. I need to get the lights on. All right, here's our next little adventure. This thing is in a sorry condition. So, and it could be really useful for me for maintaining the property plus the property we have outside of town. That property outside of town is where we burn a lot of the clean wood. So if you notice, there's a beam right above it. So what we're gonna do is take this top link out here. This is a standard 3-point hitch. We're gonna take this top link off, and we're gonna leave it anchored at that point and at that point. And then we're gonna put a chain hoist on that beam to here, and then hoist it up, and that'll give it a secure pivot in the back. We can get underneath it, try to get the nut on the blade off. If we can get the blade off, then we can take these motor mounts off. So this is a cast iron, is it called a differential or I don't know. It's where the, it converts the spin this way to the spin that way off the PTO on the tractor. And basically it's all cracked out. You can see it's gapped there, it's gapped there. All along here, it needs to be welded. I get my finger under there. They did the absolute minimum number of welds necessary. So these two places popped. They need to be pressed back together and welded. And this wheel is bent. It's supposed to be vertical, not all pushed out like that. So that's a different challenge. But so we don't know if we're even going to be able to get that blade off, because we have to get that blade off underneath in order to remove that housing. We have to remove the housing in order to weld and fix the frame. Because right now what's happening is, because this is cracked and it's not seated right, the whole thing shimmies and shakes and renders it basically useless. So we don't know what we're gonna find. We're gonna try to take that off, weld it up nice if possible, beat it down, make it flat if we have to. Then we'll put all the bolts in, and this is probably the last repair this thing's ever gonna get. So I say I don't know if you, that's probably cast iron, you can't weld that. But anything we can weld, we're gonna weld and not worry about it. So, yeah. Right now, we're just gonna hoist up the back and see what we got.
Into those, and sometimes the blind squirrel finds an acorn, you know? Yeah.
And hang this inside.
Yes, sir. Can you get it? You got failed. You're going the wrong way.
Just go that way, right?
No, you're gonna have to go all the way through the loop and come out the straight side. There you go. There you go.
All right.
That seems all right.
Okay.
Just want to make sure we didn't get to it. Oh, here's what you heard, plumb.
Oh, the sledge.
Sludge-o-matic.
Okay. So already we see one challenge, and that is that this nut, this gigantic nut, is recessed. So it almost requires a socket. Like there's no way to get on there. Look at that gap there. Oh my gosh. That's a gap right there.
Yeah, that's one that shouldn't be there.
Yeah. So how do you, here's the question for the master. We see we have this big old thing that we need a socket for. Do we have to get like calipers or something? What do they call those things? That micrometer to figure out what size it is, or?
We might be able to eyeball it, I don't know, with a tape measure.
And then do we have the socket, actual wrench that would fit that? Yeah, so we got another issue, which is this thing is like all wobbly like.
Now what I'm wondering, as loose as that is, what do you think the chances are if we pull that pin, we could get that off of there?
Just around the,
like with some big channel locks? I mean, it's worth a try first.
yeah, pull the pin out.
Yeah. See if we can reach in there. I mean, maybe it's not super tight, which is why this is shaking.
It would just slide off, you think? That would be too lucky, but
I
it wouldn't
know.
be lucky because then you got another problem afterwards, right? So, all right, well, let's see. Channel locks and pliers. So, he's went to get the drill with the wire brush. He's gonna brush the threads off. And if we can get that little cotter pin out of there, there's a small chance with the help of some PV blaster that we can get that nut off without a socket. So, because we do have these gigantic channel locks, so. Okay, I need a sit rep. Sit rep, situation report. Well, you got the cotter pin out.
Yep.
And it looks like you've already brushed the threads.
Yep.
Wow, those pinned up pretty good. 1 to 10, what do you think the chances are we can back that nut off?
About a -5.
About a -5. Especially if you can't even grab it. Oh my gosh. Well, be careful, that thing's gonna fall off on that.
How did that just
I
happen?
cannot believe we had that much luck. Man, something's wrong because we've had so much luck in the last few days.
Oh gosh, did you really just do that to us?
Did it lock up just now?
No, just say that.
Oh. You're superstitious, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
That is incredible, though. So what do you want to do now? See if I can use my fingers and...
Then you better get ready to help me handle this thing.
I will. I'll just drop the phone. Let me actually take... I can't believe we did that, man.
I don't either. Yes!
All right. I thought there was no way we were going to make any progress on this. Just because we didn't...
I really was doubtful because of that nut.
Oh my gosh. The way they had it sunk in there like that. I think our chances just improved greatly. Yeah?
Should be getting better.
Because now we can just get those bolts off, pull that motor mount off of there. So yeah, mix of positive and negative news. So this thing right here fits on top of this spline shaft. And these look like they're in pretty good condition. They're pretty deep, but these look kind of worn out.
Inside the hub.
Inside, like they're a lot smoother, not as deep. I mean, there's something, you can tell that some are a little worse than others. So we're not sure if the wobbling that I was getting was those skipping, or
because I could actually shake that whole plate when it was on the mower.
On the thing, yeah.
So it definitely had slop in it.
And that's why I decided that it had to be repaired. It was broken because it was just wobbling. But the other option, or the other potential culprit here, is the fact that this is totally cracked here. And I mean, you can see daylight from the other side. You see that crack, it's all the way through.
And like we have them here, you can see daylight through these.
Yeah, especially right over here. So what I'm hoping is if we can just weld all that stuff up and
nurse it along for a while.
Nurse it along. At least we can get another season out of this thing, hopefully. But who knows until we hook it back up. So Bob set the crescent wrench to the actual size of the nut, and it comes out to be 7/8. So that's a pretty clever way to do that. I would not have, that would not have occurred to me to do that. So.
And this one is, that one's loose.
Let me see. Maybe we should try all four. Maybe we'll get a couple of them off. How is that not turning? Because
those are locking nuts. See the splits in them?
Oh, okay.
They're made to not vibrate off.
Gotcha. Okay, so we got 2 out of 4 loose. I'm gonna switch to the other side. And then our plan is to get a tie down strap and strap up this motor mount to that big iron pipe, because once it separates, we don't want it crashing down, damaging that, or landing on a foot or something. So. So this is the extent of my job, just holding that on there, but this is really doing all the work, so. I can hear Bob grunting and snorting over there, busted his hump. Look up. Bob.
It's off.
It's off? Okay, one more to go.
One to go.
That guy right there.
One little bite us.
Yeah, it's always the last one, right? Okay, so there you go. It's locked. It's not going anywhere. Okay. Come and see what you're doing. So this is the problem. It's like recessed in there, so. Oh, you got a system going, don't you?
Yeah.
So before, I don't know, before that nut comes fully off, let's get it strapped up to that.
Yeah.
He likes to
the last place you would look.
Make references to our new tool room. Probably because it's so nice to have one, actually. So, Bob, you put a lot of stress on that word "rolled up neatly." I don't know what you were insinuating.
You mean the 10 minutes it took me to untangle them?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Is that what it was? I've just been ever so politely informed that that is not a motor mount; it is a gearbox. So, for years, I've been calling that thing a motor mount. And okay, so I'm gonna throw a strap over that pipe, secure this up, and then we can pull it off. Hopefully, it's a good plan. We'll find out. Okay, we're out. So now we can figure about beating this with a sledgehammer and getting everything in place and re-welding. Bob's got experience with these, so he was saying this was the one that he was really not looking forward to. So, see, you're growing as a person. You were worried, and worry didn't help anything, did it?
So what you're telling me is I'm actually having fun and don't realize it?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
All right.
Okay. And just by putting that beam under there, these cracks came a lot closer. They almost came back home. They're a little offset right now. So we're gonna have to do a little beating with the sledgehammer. Hopefully line those back up and we can weld it the way it's supposed to be. Because look at that. It did not penetrate at all into that plate. The whole weld is still over here on the side. So I've got that. And then here was one of the big culprits. Look at that guy right there. So we'll have to weld that. And it looks like it's bubbled up just a little bit. I don't know if you can see the relief. We'll probably have to knock that down just a little bit and then re-weld it. And that'll be back to factory new.
As good as old.
Yeah, as good as old. Yeah, so that's...
So like it should be like this and be nice and flat.
Yeah.
And it is definitely not.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty darn close. I don't know we're gonna get much better than that.
Okay. Cool. So now we got grinding to do, right?
Bunch of grinding before we start welding.
Okay.
And what we're gonna do is we're not only gonna re-weld what they did, but we're gonna come in here and we're gonna add some more
in the gaps
and give this thing some extra strength.
Okay. Yeah, Bob was saying that where they got no penetration here, we're gonna weld that side, remove this arm and get inside there and weld the opposite side of the steel as well.
Yeah, because they pretty much welded this, but then there was absolutely no penetration on this. You can see it just completely pulled away from the weld because it wasn't even stuck to the arm.
Okay.
So we're gonna, same thing, we'll come in here and add some more welds and get down in here and just add. I mean, you can't over weld.
And if we just take out that bolt there,
we can swing that up out of
this
our
will
way.
swing up out of the way and then we can get in and get the inside. So, wow.
I'm feeling good about it.
Oh yeah? It seemed like an undoable job like for a whole year for me. And now it's almost done.
Chris, what do I tell you? The answer to everything is don't know your limitations, just jump in there and try it.
That's like the lesson that this building is teaching me. So.
Well, I always look at stuff like this like, okay, it's already broke.
Yeah.
I can't break it.
That's
it's
true.
broke.
Yep.
So
yeah, it's going to the scrapyard.
Yeah. So I mean, odds are you're going to make it better than it was.
Yeah, that's right. So, okay. So, grinder and then weld and then reattach.
Yep. Put everything back together and
hope for the best.
Grass.
Hope for the best.
Yeah.
So we just pulled the bolt out of the wheel and then folded it back and laid it over. And now those brakes, it'll be real easy for us to, is that hot? No. Just line those up exactly where we need them so we can weld them. So, and we've got some clamps, maybe clamps, or beating it with a hammer and bring it back down.
Yeah, we'll get her.
Okay. So in a recent video, we started to work on this bush hog, and the problem we're having right now is that this is definitely not American made. It's like it's an import, and this metal here is ultra thin, and it's just, even on the very lowest setting where it's almost even hard to make an arc, it's burning through. So Bob was saying it's not going to be pretty, but we're going to get it done. So I film these videos, over about 3 weeks, and then I get to upload them over a couple months, 1 to 2 videos per week. And so there's always this kind of delay. So all of the videos that you've been seeing and all the videos that are coming up all happened within a short time while Bob was here. And I feel really good because we've had some giant wins. We know where our sewer line is. It's very close to where we want to put our bathrooms. There's the sewer line. There's where our bathrooms are going. It's already dug out to the street. The previous owner wanted to put a house in here, and the first thing he did was put that there. Never made the house, but that's all been done. So all we have to do is connect from there to there. Big win. And I'm not going to give a full recap because you've probably been watching the videos, but we're getting that lower front end of the building taken care of so we can get it up to code and have a certain space in the building that's kind of finished, that's able to generate a little income. And that's like the first domino to fall in the big picture. So very excited about that. And if you haven't noticed, we were able to get a kind of the beginnings of a tool room here together. So the place is so giant that if you forget a hammer somewhere, you've got to walk 30 minutes to go get it and get back. This is on the very west end of the building, all the way down here, even off the photograph here. So it doesn't save any time in terms of walking to go get something you forgot. But if you did forget something, you know exactly where it's at. So that's a big help. So, okay, anyway, I need to get a cutoff wheel. My humble little, mostly Harbor Freight tool collection here. But as time goes on, I keep picking little things up for, oh, I need this tool to do that. And I'll go pick it up. And then again, the next tool. And so hopefully by the time this building is done, I'll have all the tools I need to fix a building. So just why couldn't I have them at the very beginning? That's the problem. So I had to step away. There was a special girl who had a 5-year-old birthday party, and I went to that. But while I was gone, Bob's been working away. And check this out. All the welding is done, and the gearbox is already mounted back on. So, and that's not all. He took the angle grinder and sharpened up the blades here.
You could call it sharpened, but I made them slightly better in their beat up condition.
Yeah, it was pretty rough.
They're pretty rough.
Yeah, I mean there's a gouge like.
Yeah.
But wow, that's nice. The question is, can we get that sucker back on there now?
Well, I lifted it up and put it on here, so yes.
So it is possible with 2 people.
It's possible, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So just in case anybody's interested, this one right here, you can see it's been welded and ground down. This one was the culprit, and it was loose, and the jerking, I don't know what the word is, spasmodic motion of this thing was boogering up the threads on that bolt. So in here. Bob put a lot of force on it to get it on through those threads, and it just didn't work. They had to put a whole bunch more force to get it off. But what did you do in the end? You put a washer on, right?
Yeah, I put a washer on the top side, which made this one a little bit shorter, but it had it where I had good threads all the way up to tighten it against the metal.
Oh, it was this one here?
Yeah. See how it's a little shorter than the rest?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the washer took it up just enough to get a bite on it good with the nut.
Okay, well that's cool.
Yeah.
So now it's got a solid connection, right?
Right. Nice. Yeah, otherwise it just would have been flopping around in there loose. You'd never get it tight.
Okay. So that's the amount of force that he was using to try to get that puppy on there.
I bent that wrench.
Okay. You're a He-Man. You're a He-Man. All right. All right. No juvenile humor while we're recording.
I know. I controlled myself. It was not easy, but I controlled myself.
We have to rotate it on. Oh, we're in.
But are we lined up? I don't think we're lined up with the splines.
Yeah.
We were on, but I don't think we're lined up with the splines.
Is there any single key, or is it just any 1/8 of a turn or 16th of a turn?
Yeah, it's just, it should be just a matter of a turn.
Okay. I think my problem is I'm holding the blade instead of the wheel. Oh, there we go. Oh, there.
Okay, you got it?
Yeah. I don't know if I got it, but I'm holding my side.
Okay, it'll stay now.
Now the question is, can we get it tight enough? That's the problem, right? Without the socket?
Yeah.
We're laughing because every time I push stop record, he cracks a joke like 1 second after that, and I miss it. So
what I said was I'd love to make a witty comment if I was able to catch my breath and breathe.
Yeah. So in the previous video, we had this like real loose wobbly thing, but like there's no wobble in that now. It's seated exactly how it's supposed to be. So Bob, I'm almost about to venture that this thing is fixed.
Oh, don't jinx us.
Oh my God. Okay, 9 hours later, we got it in. Just got to bend the backside. Actually, all it took was straightening it out to push it in. So, do you think it's fixed right now? Is it completely fixed?
Well, it's completely ready. Let's say that.
It's completely ready to try. Now I have to remember how to turn the PTO off on the tractor. So, Bob, I think what I got to do now, and tell me if I'm wrong, start up the tractor and see if I can engage the PTO so I know which lever is the PTO.
Yeah.
Because I haven't used it in so long, I forgot which one it was. There's like 6 or 7 levers up there. Figure that out. Then theoretically, I could turn it off. We can connect the drive shaft.
And it should run.
And then engage the PTO, right?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, we still got to get the top tie rod. What's that thing called?
Top link.
Top link in as well. This guy right here has to be put in there. So, okay. This raises up and levels out to the right length where it's set right now. This bush hog is going to sit flatter because right now it's a little bit lower on the front side. So I think that's where it needs to be, where it is right now. I just have to raise the hydraulics to level that guy out. So let me do that. Part of it is that I don't remember which is the PTO engage, but I'm almost certain it was this guy here, but nothing is happening. I mean, if it was going to be stuck, it's better that it's stuck in the on position than the off position.
Yeah.
But the problem is that in this model, even if you push the clutch and that PTO is still going. So we looked at all the levers. None of them seem to be the right one. which means that if we're going to run this thing, we have to start it with PTO engaged. So not only does it have to crank to turn the motor, it's also got to crank to turn this thing in order to start the engine. So, okay. Maybe after we drive it around for a little bit, something will free up. I don't know. It's wishful thinking, I think, but. Anybody out there used to a Ford 5000 tractor? Is this the PTO engage? Let me know in the comments.
You left the key on.
Oh yeah, I left the key on. Well, we got it connected. So basically a lot of people already know this, but for those of you who don't know, put that on the ground. This drive shaft here actually kind of slides back on itself. So you have to line it up just right with that PTO that comes out of the tractor. You pull this collar back and then you push the whole thing onto that PTO shaft. Then you release it. Then you kind of wiggle it back until the little key falls into the slot and then it's locked into position. So I have started this before with the blade. So I think what I'll do is just raise it up so it's up off the ground, no grass or anything can give it any additional resistance, and see if we can just start the tractor.
Have to go for it.
Yeah, Bob's right. I just have to go for it because I can't raise it until the thing's running. Okay, well, at least there's not high grass right here.
Yeah.
I'm very hopeful about this. Let's see what happens.
Come up.
It's working. Now for the test. See that patch of grass over there?
Well, hey, Chris, your front's dragging.
Oh. There?
No more. That's pretty level.
The good news is once we got it running, the PTO disengage worked. And I think what it is that it just takes about 4 minutes for it to stop running.
And I think if you have a load on it, that helps slow it down. If there's no load, it probably is wanting to
It's going to spin for about 20 minutes and then it'll finally stop.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so Bob was just saying that the bush hog is not shaking and shimmying and doing a jig. So I think we have this thing fixed. Oh, man. It's just like win after win lately.
Oh.
Oh, my gosh.
Just don't jinx us.
It's going perfect.
You keep tempting fate.
What am I supposed to do when things keep going right? I mean, gosh darn it. All right, let's go look at the grass cut here. So this is not a finish mower. This is for like hay and brush and that kind of stuff. So it's not going to get like a real low, fine cut, but it will clear a field pretty quick of hay. And you can see there's my path. And there's the height of the grass on the side, and there's the height that it's mowed. So you can see the swath that I took there. So yeah.
Jump on it and run up that a little bit.
Run up there a little bit?
It's very brushy.
Can you imagine hitting a cement block right after we repair it?
We'll be repairing again.
Yeah, so okay, I'll do that just for the sake of experimenting a little bit. I'm gonna step through it a little bit, just make sure there's nothing too crazy.
I was talking about like this.
Huh?
Like this side.
Okay, yeah, I'll get that too. But I think I can back through here. Yeah, I can. I mean, I'm not gonna go too deep and get carried away.
The other thing you can do is lift it up pretty high, make a pass, and then drop it down and make another pass. That way you'll see if there's something.
And I'll feel if I hit something, yeah. Okay. So I was just saying that's going to be a huge help. I mean, just that would have been an hour of weed eating basically right there. So what did it take, like
30 seconds.
70 seconds or something?
I mean, nothing.
Yeah. The only trick is you got to go in and see if there's any cut off stumps or anything, because, I mean, if they're that big around, you'll be okay. But if they're like that big around, you're going to be in trouble. It's going to dent the side of the bush hog. So that's like, I think where this really shines is if you know the property and you know where all the dangers are.
Right.
And then even if the grass is super high, you can just do it.
Well, and like I said, going off in there, I mean, you can raise that thing that high and miss like tires or concrete blocks.
90% of everything.
Knock it down, then you can see what you're doing, and then if everything's clear, drop it down and mow.
Yeah, that's perfect. Bob really keeps me out of trouble.
I probably get you in more trouble than out of trouble.
Oh, and then, okay, so by breakfast tomorrow, Bob said he's going to clean all that right there.
Did he?
Yeah, speechless. No, that's busy work. That's
I feel like a ventriloquist now. You're speaking for me.
Yeah. Yeah, but I was telling him yesterday that that's kind of the busy work, so it doesn't require any mentoring at all. So that's the stuff I'll do when he's gone. But oh my gosh, Bob, I'm so grateful for your work on that. I really, really appreciate that.
Well, I'm just glad we got it going. I mean, there were times it was looking a little sketchy, you know, and we didn't have the right tools, but somehow we improvised and made it go.
So if you have been on the channel for any time at all, I've got another place where we usually take the wood and burn it. And it's at another little township not far from here. And this summer I really messed up because I went out there to mow and then I left the key in the wrong position and the battery died. And my brother wasn't able to get out there to change the battery and stuff. So basically the whole place grew up and grew over. So I'll be able to pull that out there and get that back in, and then I won't be the guilty party anymore. I'll have remedied my mistake. So that's incredible. And also, if I figure out how to get the lowest possible setting that's safe on that thing,
I mean,
I could do this back property with it, really.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, it's not doing a bad cut the way it sets.
Yeah.
You were just almost dragging the front skids.
I think that's the trick, right?
Yeah.
Like as low as possible, and know that there's nothing there.
Right.
Right. As long as there's nothing there, you can do a low, almost a finished mow.
Yeah. And you know how to set the height if you ever have to change it just by changing that bolt.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, because if you jack that end up and then you also raise the front, you can get a real high mow, right? Like almost like knee high.
Yeah. Right now is probably about as low as you're going to get.
Yeah. Which, because I've spent like 2 years clearing this space, and so I got the cutting torch out here. I cut off little rods. There used to be a water tower here, and there were these like rods sticking up out of the ground that were like as big as my wrist. I cut all those off, dug out a whole bunch of cement blocks and chunks, and with a few exceptions, the mower doesn't hit anything anymore. So that's pretty awesome. So I feel really comfortable with that thing. So, except for sometimes I hit this pile right here with the mower. This was an old shed that was on the property, and I tore it down and didn't have a dumpster, and so just kind of burned off a lot of the wood, but I didn't want to burn the shingles.
There were some of the washers I was searching for earlier to fix that thing.
Those things are gigantic. Good Lord. Yeah, I didn't want to burn shingles. I don't think it's legal, and it would have been a hot mess anyway, so I just piled those here. Now we know that it costs $140 for a 14-foot trailer load, so I'll be able to take those on my next trip probably. So, okay, awesome. What's next? So at one point I was thinking a tool cart with this guy. This came from an old Firestone building. I showed it in a previous video at one point, and I thought it would, oh, look what I just found. I totally forgot I even owned that.
Oh my gosh, Chris, you have no idea what you own.
Well, I went and bought another one that I used for the, look at all that tar on it, for the roof to get tar off of the wire brush. But anyway, it just goes to show. So this came from an old Firestone factory. I bought it at a garage sale and painted it. It had it looking pretty good, but now it's, after a few years in this place, it's pretty rough again. But we just kind of, you know, it wasn't great fit for a toolbox because of this cage. It's hard to get, it just didn't have a lot of surface area or, you know, access to the tools and stuff. You had to like dig around in there and open that gate and stuff, and so it just wasn't working, and I went a different direction. But as a welding cart, like those, you know, the fittings and stuff, you don't have to get access very often. They could be stored in there. That's up there. That is a perfect rolling little welding cart. Just perfect for me. So, and then our new system, you know, I'm trying to grow as a person, so if it's your first time on this channel, you probably think I'm out of my mind. But we've kind of come to an agreement that after each project, you make one trip with all your tools back to the tool room. So I'm going to try to get new habits. If I can turn it into a habit, then I'll be much, much better off. So we're loading up all the tools. We're going to take them back to the tool room. And then we're going to do some security stuff that I talked about at the beginning of the video. So here we came all prepared to, oh, there's a solution there, I guess. Oh, Bob. Too bad that's on the outside, because we want the lock on the inside. There's a chain and a handle here. We were going to weld a little eye hook there, but at the last minute we noticed something else.
We don't have a hammer, do we?
Huh?
We don't have a hammer, do we?
We don't have a hammer. Yeah, we have lots of hammers. We need a hammer.
Let me see if this will become a hammer.
So what we noticed at the last moment, they have a locking mechanism here. A rod,
Which finger?
goes through there and goes to a hole right there in the door. We don't have to do anything.
I just need to drive this in just a little bit. And we'd be lost.
I hate to say it, we're getting too many wins, man. Too many wins in one day.
I think we should just start over again.
Okay, next morning, and I I'm gonna do a little project that has been an eyesore for a long time, and I'm sure my neighbors do not appreciate it very much, but we're hopefully gonna remedy that right now. I had all this irrigation hose that was basically back there at the back of the property, and weeds were growing through it, and it was creating a real problem for mowing. And I thought some farmer could use this for drainage, for a ditch or something like that. So I dragged it out here, hooked it on the tractor, we pulled it out, and it's basically been out here at the front of the property. I was hoping somebody would take it for free. It looks like the pile is a little bit smaller, so maybe a few pieces have been harvested, but sadly, not very much. And the front of the building is looking much better these days, and so I want to get this gone and just wash that gray right out of my hair. So some of them cut really easy. Some of them are a little less agreeable. That's pretty easy there. That first one, not so much. What's that?
I'm actually clean for a change, which is very rare for around here.
Bob's been here for 2 weeks, busting hump every day from like the minute we wake up until we can't stand not having a shower. And yeah, I'm so grateful for that.
Today I get to go home.
Today's going home to his wife, Allison.
Chris has officially released me.
So, okay, so I'm not sure. So there's a lot to process there. That's going pretty quick, but it's not going as quick as I hope. So I think I want to experiment a little bit just because there's so much. This black material sitting out in the sun is almost too hot to touch. It's using this almost as like a little makeshift vise, and let's give it a shot. That works. Well, well, the truck bed is almost completely full. And there is still a gigantic pile over there. So, I don't know. I might not be able to get all of this in one load. So, but I'm gonna keep going as far as I possibly can. And I might have a trick up my sleeve to secure this load down. I think I chose the hottest day of the summer to do this. Oh my gosh. And all that stuff was laying out in the sun out there. But I got it. For the most part, I got it. There's the last little pile I need to load up right there. It's all cut up into pieces. And I don't know if I'm gonna be able to fit it in the back of the truck. But if I am, it's a huge success because, you know, I can't really load a ton into that trailer back there, so I'm always underweight. So then whatever's in the truck is kind of like bonus. So basically got rid of this. I can't say free because I would always put some trash bags or something in it, but if I had left it, it would have filled up that entire trailer just because of how wily it was. And I cannot believe that I got that entire pile reduced and into the back of the pickup. So it's ultra lightweight, but it was incredibly bulky. And that's like one of the worst things at the factory is the stuff that's bulky and gets in the way, but it's ultra light. And it's hard to justify the minimum 1-ton fee for taking to the landfill. So Okay. Okay, so I don't want to have any of those little pieces fly out, so what I'm going to do is throw that mattress, which needs to be, you know, disposed of as well, and I'm just going to put that right on top, strap it down, and it'll be an ultralight load, but super bulky, like I said, and it'll be gone and out of my hair. So yeah, I'm pretty spent right now, super dirty, and I need a shower, so I think I'm gonna let you guys go, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for tuning in and following my journey. I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.